An interesting solution area where FlowForma works very well is collaborative decision making. During a workflow, you may collect a large quantity of data and related documentation, which together may build a case for an action to occur. For example, in the product innovation process, typically an idea is proposed in the first step. The idea is detailed by the proposer, and justification is provided for the new innovation. This is then passed on to a board for consideration, and the board votes to progress or reject the idea. If successful, then the workflow moves on to the next innovation stage, assessing feasibility of the idea. This process is also known as the stage gate process, and is well defined in industries where the product innovation process is critical to the ongoing operations of the business. As we have seen, FlowForma provides an excellent mechanism for collecting data on that initial idea. You can capture a large volume of data on the proposed idea, including attached documentation justifying the proposal, and submit this in the first step of your form. In addition, FlowForma can include a voting step. The voting step allows a defined group of users to each review the data in the form and vote yes or no as to whether to progress the workflow. In our example, this is the board that assesses the new innovation idea. Once all votes are cast, FlowForma displays the results and appropriate action can be taken. For example, if the overall vote was no, then the workflow can be terminated. The next demonstration shows an example of a collaborative decision functionality in action. I would like to show you a simple process that records a new innovation idea and presents it to a panel for review. Each member of the panel casts a vote on whether the idea should progress to the next stage, Feasibility Assessment. First, let's look at a simple form that I created. The first step captures the idea and also allows the user to upload a document to justify the idea. The second step allows the user to review the details of the idea and cast a vote. There are a few things to say about this particular step. The side panel visible to the right allows me to review related content. Here's a document that I uploaded. It also lets me look at vote history. No votes have been cast yet. And the team members. These are the voters who need to make a decision as to whether to progress or not. My user is also set up as a vote administrator so that they have access to the administration panel, where they can cancel the vote or finish the vote once the minimum number of votes have been cast. Over in the main area of the form, I can cast my vote by pressing yes or no, and then enter in some rationale. I can then submit the vote, and you notice that at the bottom of the screen there is no submit button, because as a voter I don't get to submit onto the next stage until all votes have been cast and the administrator has finished the vote. However, over here I can see that I am the administrator. I now have the ability to finish the vote because the minimum number of votes have been cast. And once I finish the vote, essentially this step is submitted, and it moves on to step number 3, which displays decision results. The decision results show a graph which shows the breakdown of yeses and nos. In this case, of course, there was only one vote cast, and then the list to the right shows a list of the votes that have been cast. Now let's take a look how that simple flow was configured. The flow contains a series of steps, and in the proposal review step you'll notice that there is a vote for idea question. The resource assigned to the voting step is the vote administrator. The voting question defines the voters who are members of a group and other options for the vote. The presence of a voting question inside a step causes the step to behave differently, as shown in the form demo. The following step contains a decision results question. The decision results question points to the original voting question, and all the data is captured on the voting question is displayed in decision results. Using this method of questions within steps, you can have multiple votes throughout your flow.